Legos come in a box, and it's just pieces. But in order to create something, assembly is required. Assembly is required. And so, think about the world today. There's so much noise. There's so much room for competition and comparison that it's easy to get into our heads. And the more competitive it becomes, the more critical people become. And by the way, the more successful you become, the more criticized you become. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I believe life is Legos. And it's the truth. Like, I see my kids playing all the time, and when they get jealous of what the other person is building, sometimes they get mad and they tear up the other ones because they feel like that they stole their Lego or whatever. And it's a lot like that in life. We've always heard, and I see it. You start having success, and there is a pattern that happens. Oh, you can't do it. People trying to prevent you from it. And the reason I'm saying this is because when you leave out of here, you're going to go to a different environment. But if you can really take the lessons that a lot of people have learned, and that is the assembly required, it's up to you. No one's going to save you. And when you start on that journey and that path of progress, people are going to be scared. People are going to be competitive with you. And have grace for them. Sometimes it's going to be our loved ones. Because when you grow, if they're not, guess what? It's easier to pull someone back down to that comfort level rather than raise yourself. Because remember, when you start raising yourself up to a higher standard, it becomes uncomfortable. Human nature, we want to stay comfortable in our box. We've lived our life in a box. We sleep in a box. We get up and get in a box. We drive to our box. We open up our box. Everything's about a box. And in that box, we become comfortable, wherever your box is. And my point by saying that is if your Lego's in this box, there's a bunch of pieces. And that's all of us are just like these pieces that we have to assemble. But the great thing is we can be creative and assemble any way we want to. But as soon as you start leveling up and growing, someone that you least expected is going to say something to try to bring you back down. They're not bringing you down because they don't like you. They're scared to lose you because they see you growing. If you want to be the biggest building, build the biggest building. But most people want to tear down all the other buildings. It's the truth. But once you start becoming successful, people are going to say, oh, who's he think he is? Who she thinks she is? Those little digs, right? You're becoming successful. You start driving a new car and buying a farm and getting lakes and going on vacations every week and, doing all this cool stuff. And your neighbors and your family members, even behind your back, mealy mouth, who they think they are. It's predictable because I've experienced it and seen it for 29 years. And you think because these critics are saying it won't work and you're broken and you don't know what you're doing and you're crazy, you're on the right path. Because look in your box. You're not broken. You're not broken. There's all kinds of pieces. And you can build, you can assemble you. You can build it any way you want to build it. It's just like Legos. If a piece falls off, it's okay because you know what you can do? You can just pick it up and reassemble. That's what life's about. Life's about picking up the pieces and making something of it. It's about making something of it. It's not going to look perfect. Your building, your house isn't going to always be perfect. But in that imperfection, it's kind of like soup for the soul, right? There's a lot of perfection in that imperfection because all of those colors, all of that different variety is the spice of life. Embrace it and love it. Just because it's not broken, it might not fit yet. So you got to figure out where it fits, where that piece fits, and then you go, aha, that was it. And you build on that. You pull it off and you put it back together the right way. I want you all to remember this. No matter what happens, no matter if half your falls apart, it doesn't mean you're broken. You can always rebuild. You're not broken. You are not broken. You're just not finished yet.